What's going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages, Joker back again, once again, and welcome to another Season 15 episode lore breakdown. In spectacular fashion, Bungie has just recently proven the worth of these videos because, well, in a few months, they'll be all you have to remember the story by. A universe of lore and story content that is only really accessible via YouTube. What a time to be alive. It's like this is the worst version of Destiny 1 Year 1. The more things change, O viewer mine, the more they stay the same. But that is neither here nor there. If you want to see the entirety of my sun-setting hot take, the link to that will be somewhere. Now our story, like every other story, begins with us making our way to the Helm, where it's made abundantly clear that the story is about to go on hiatus.
When I first saw Crow, I looked into his mind. I did not see my brother's memories. Savathûn dredged them from a place beyond my grasp when she revealed his past life to him. She suspects I do not mean to let her live once the separation ritual is complete, and is testing our patience. Perhaps she means only to hurt me. The risk of her cunning is too great, no matter her intentions. Until the conditions are right for us to exorcise her worm, I am restricting all access to Savathûn. I will, however, afford you one last meeting to conclude your investigations before I seal her away. Steel your mind when you face her, Guardian. The Witch Queen is no less dangerous now than she has ever been. We have one last Techium to locate. Go forth.
Preparations for Savathûn's exorcism are underway. But the ritual can't begin without a cosmic alignment. It will take time.
This will be our last talk until the day of the ritual, O Guardian mine.
The most interesting thing that happens to us this week comes via way of a lore card. Again, the more things change, the more they stay the same. I hate you. It's the first thing Mara says on reaching Savathûn's crystalline prison. Her words lack heat, but echo through the cavernous chamber nonetheless. I just want to be absolutely clear on this. I hate you. And I wish nothing but pain and suffering for the rest of your miserable existence. The crystal shimmers and Savathûn's gentle laughter ripples through Mara's mind. I know, the Witch Queen murmurs. I could have jettisoned you into the sun, Mara says coolly. But unlike some creatures, I uphold my word when I give it. But we're the same creature, are we not? Savathûn wonders. Although Mara can't see her smile, she has no difficulty imagining what it looks like. I'm nothing like you. No, of course not. Savathûn's voice is easy and languid. Some might mistake her for being sincere. Mara has taken the same tone too many times in her life not to recognize it for what it is. I thought you were a powerful, competent woman plagued by a difficult relationship with her family, Savathûn says. Someone who weaves complicated, long-spun schemes across the arc of time's bow. My mistake? Mara stares at the crystal, clenches her jaw, and turns her back to leave. But before she can even take one step towards the door, she feels Savathûn's consciousness brush like silk against hers. I thought you were someone who believed herself to be so smart, Savathûn purrs, that she is easily blinded by her own ambitions and self-appointed genius. Someone so certain of her solution that she fails to see the inherent peril in her plans, and yet too embarrassed to ever admit she may have gone astray. Tension knots the muscles in Mara's shoulders and back. Over the years, she's trained her face to remain a mask. But she's not always as skilled when it comes to the rest of her body. Savathûn continues, I thought you were someone so afraid of being vulnerable that you'd rather fall than... Enough! Mara rounds on Savathûn's prison with the precision of an angry viper. She does not raise her voice. Instead, she lowers it. That might work on him, she says, the last words like fire on her lips. Because it still pains her to refer to Crow by any name. But you will find my armor has fewer gaps. Power surges around her hands, and she slams them against the crystalline surface. A lattice of radiant energy winds itself around Savathûn's prison, and Mara hopes that the furious drumming of her heart, an intermittent flare of her nostrils, will be mistaken for exertion, not a different kind of weakness. When the spell is complete, Mara steps back, her glowing eyes dim. She wavers with fatigue, listening for the psychic echo of Savathûn's voice in her skull. There is only silence. Shut up, Mara breathes, a strange marriage of relief and loathing. Shut up. So if we take that lore card and Savathûn's story time for this week,
I've been keeping tabs on you. Your victories against my sister. The mess you've made of the Ascendant Plane while you rescued your third-string witches. Delightful to see so many working towards a common goal, isn't it? I'm glad I can again be the catalyst that brings humanity and the reef together. It's a pity Mara Sov doesn't see it that way. Her face is a perfect porcelain mask. But look behind her eyes, and you can see the incandescent rage burning within. She's very upset with me. This will be our last talk until the day of the ritual, O Guardian Mine. Now that Marasov's coven is assembled, the only thing left to do is to keep Xivu Arath from ruining things while the ley lines fall into position. This may take some time, but I have waited millennia to be free. I can hold out for just a little bit longer. Farewell. For now.
I absolutely love and kind of adore sassy Savathûn here. The narrative throughline this week, of course, is the fact that Mara is not as in control as she thinks she is, and this could go one of two ways, all depending on if Mara knows what Savathûn's plan is. If Mara does know what Savathûn's plan is, then what we've been shown throughout Season of the Lost is largely theater. Because let's be real, let's be honest, let's be real honest, there's no fucking way the Vanguard would be okay with Savathûn getting the light. Zavala would call in Keitel, quick, fast, and in a hurry, and have the Dreaming City nuked from orbit just to be safe. The consequences be damned. Now, I don't believe that the lore card we read earlier is pageantry, but it does add some credibility to the idea that Mara is in on the plot. What do I mean? Well, if Mara's goal is to kill Savathûn, why not launch her into the sun? While that won't kill Savathûn, she'll be confined to her crystal prison, trapped on the sun. Now you might argue, and I'd probably agree with you, that Xivu Arath might be able to retrieve Savathûn, and the only way to be sure that Savathûn is dead is to remove her worm and then cut off her head. However, I think it's more interesting if Mara's in on it. The other option, of course, is Mara isn't in on the plot, and she's just that ignorant. So what we see here is Savathûn mocking Mara for not being able to see her plan. It's an interesting dichotomy if nothing else, but that's really the most interesting things to talk about this week. So, let me know what you thought about this week's story in the comments below. Remember to like, but only if you did. Subscribe for more. Feel free to donate to my Patreon if you're feeling generous, but above all else, stay frosty.